Hi, I'm Meredith Broadway, and I'm here at Advent Christian General Conference, where I work part-time as media coordinator. My husband is the pastor of Dulin Church, and I'm here with my friend Angela.
Hi, my name is Angela Hutcheson. My husband is the pastor of Shiloh Advent Christian Church in Monroe, North Carolina. I teach kindergarten at a Christian school in Locust. And we are here to tell you about the book, Joyfully Spreading the Word. It's a book about how to spread the good news of Jesus.
Yeah, first we want to tell you how we came to read it in the first place. Our kids were actually in youth group together, and we had about an hour and a half to kill on a Wednesday night. So we knew, number one, we wanted to see more of each other because we get very few opportunities to do that. But we used to be in a book club a while back, and it was really helpful because I think we read things that challenged us, and we wanted to do it again. We wanted to grow in our knowledge and understanding of the Lord. So we decided to look for another book.
And as we looked for a book, we were trying to decide what topic would be good. And one thing that is always challenging to us is just sharing our love for Christ. And so evangelism came up, and we started looking for books about evangelism.
Yeah, and even that was a little bit of a challenge. I've kind of gotten used to my go-tos when I try to find a book. It kind of cuts through the noise. There's a few publishers that I've come to trust. New Growth Press is really good, Crossway is really good, and the Gospel Coalition has a lot of really good titles on there. So I actually ended up finding this one at the Gospel Coalition, and it was really, really good. So actually, the way it works is there's an introduction in part one, and then in part two, it uses 9 women's stories to show their unique context for evangelism. They're very, very different people, but it gives you different snapshots in their life for sharing the gospel.
So part one just does a really great job of laying the foundation for what we believe as Christians. And then it goes into what evangelism is.
Mm-hmm. So those 9 stories I was telling you about, you get to hear from a grandmother who's really passionate about sharing the word with their grandchildren and all the details with that. You hear from a medical perfusionist in a hospital in Dubai, and also a really popular author who is really engaged with the LGBTQ community. So really a wide array of context for evangelism.
I think my most encouraging part of this book was when Morgan Hill described how evangelism is not academic. Evangelism is your heart. It is sharing who you love the most and why we love Jesus. And that was just really encouraging to me.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts was Gloria Furman at the beginning. She's laying out just the nuts and bolts of evangelism, and she says that evangelism is not eternal. There's only X amount of time left, and time is running out. It's literally running out, which just jolted me into the reality of we have so many moments, so many people that we're going to run into, and so many days left on this earth, and it's really important.
Yes. And so because of that, I think knowing what we believe and who the person is we love the most, Jesus Christ, and being able to share that with others very eloquently is important. And Becky Pippert at the very beginning of the book did a great job of just laying the gospel out and sharing everything that we believe in one small section. And it was just beautiful how she wrote that.
Yeah, it was. It was actually, Angela and I were talking about it earlier. It was like we were hearing the gospel for the first time, which doesn't happen very often when you've been a Christian for a long time. So she did a really good job. What was the most challenging part of the book for you?
Gloria Furman, I loved her writing in this book, and she spoke about how evangelism is not just being kind. And it's pretty easy for me to smile and hold a door or bake something for someone and just be kind. But she made it the point to say that kindness is not evangelism. We have to actually use our words of who Christ is and spread the gospel through word and deed.
Yeah, one of the challenging parts for me was the section on kids, especially evangelism to children and in the church context. And it just feels a little overwhelming. And it reminded me that kids aren't going to come to know the Lord unless the Lord moves their hearts and changes their hearts. And so it reminded me that I really need to be prayerful for all the kids that I have a direct sphere of influence over. So I think I'll remember that. So what about this book specifically helped you with evangelism, like since we've read it?
I think just the idea that all evangelism is sharing the love of Christ with others, using words, using deeds. And it is not something just for pastors. It is not something just for missionaries. It is for all of us who love the Lord.
Yeah. I think too, what's helped me is remembering Furman also touched on this notion of being ambassadors for Christ. And she said, go ahead, pay your bills, drop off your laundry, get your groceries, take your kids to school, pick them up from school. But remember that you're an ambassador for Christ. And so wherever you go, you are going commissioned by Christ. And so since we read this book, I haven't done it perfectly, but I have remembered to look at humans when they're in front of me and in their eyes and maybe ask, how are you doing today? And if I feel extra brave, I might say, is there any way I can pray for you today? But just the reminder that there are no regular moments. Like everything can be used to prayerfully pursue evangelism.
I love that term, ambassador. That was a great way to look at evangelism.
Yeah.
So we do believe that all Christians can be equipped to adequately share the love of Christ with everyone they meet, wherever they are, whatever they're doing.
Yeah, so we hope that you'll consider looking at Joyfully Spreading the Word. It's by Kathleen, Nielson, and Gloria Furman, and I think you'll really enjoy it. I think you'll find it very practical. You can find it really easily on Amazon, and you can find other book reviews on our acgc.us website under Women's Ministry. Thanks.